Hello, thank you for taking the time to listen to my talk today. I'm Stephanie Buick, Chief Business Officer at Destiny Pharma, where we are developing NTCD M3 to prevent recurrence of C. diff infection. As we're a public company, I would just first of all like to draw your attention to our disclaimer. So Destiny is focused on infection prevention, developing novel medicines primarily for the hospital and care home markets. NTCD M3 is one of our two lead programs in our pipeline, and it has been prepared to start a pivotal phase 3 study in 2022. You will all be aware of the healthcare burden of C. diff infection and how multiple recurrences are linked to poorer quality of life, increased morbidity and increased mortality, and in turn, the huge economic burden that is put on healthcare systems. We really need to stop this recurrence escalator early and enable patients to get their lives back. Our product, NTCD M3, is a non-toxigenic strain of C. difficile, which has been isolated from an asymptomatic patient. It is a naturally occurring bacterial spore, and patients naturally colonized with NTCD M3 were found to be protected from C. diff infection. The broad spectrum antibiotics used to clear the infection disrupt the gut microbiome, and this enables toxigenic C. diff to proliferate again and cause the subsequent infection. Our product, NTCD M3, is given after antibiotic treatment has cleared the toxigenic C. diff, and NTCD M3 essentially creates a safe ground cover in the gut, which prevents toxic strains of C. diff being able to proliferate and take hold. Importantly, NTCD M3 lacks the genes that can express C. diff toxins, and so it cannot become toxigenic. It rapidly colonizes the gut and protects the gut during the really critical period before gradually leaving the gut over a period of 22 weeks. This enables time for the gut microbiome, the normal gut microbiome, to recover. The phase 2 trial was conducted in 173 adults with a primary episode or a first recurrence of C. diff infection and had been treated with antibiotics to clear the infection. It was double-blind and placebo-controlled. NTCD M3 demonstrated only a 5% recurrence rate versus 30% with placebo. This extremely low recurrence rate is a game changer. When you compare that to Simplava, which demonstrated a 17% rate of recurrence in its trials, or the FMT or bacterial consortia products, this 5% rate is significantly lower. We've now agreed a phase 3 design with the FDA, and the pivotal phase 3 study will be a single study, double-blind and placebo-controlled in 800 patients with a 2-to-1 randomization. The primary endpoint will be similar to the phase 2 trial, looking at rate of recurrence at 6 or 8 weeks post-treatment and in a similar population. NTCD M3 is an oral capsule, oral dry powder capsule, given once daily for 7 days, starting after the last antibiotic course. We will be sampling to confirm colonization, also assessing changes in the fecal microbiome and looking at, obviously, at the recurrence rate. We're expecting to start this phase 3 in late 2022, and we expect to have clinical sites worldwide, including the US and Europe. So NTCD M3 is ideally placed to prevent recurrence after the primary episode or first recurrence of C. diff infection, particularly if it demonstrates a similar rate of recurrence of 5% in the phase 3 trial in these patients. It is complementary to any of the antibiotics used to treat the infection, so it can be used after any of them. It has low cost of goods and a long shelf life, and so there is room for a very competitive price to enable uptake in these earlier stage patients. It is a simple administration as a single oral capsule given once daily for 7 days after antibiotic treatment. There is an upside indication of primary prevention for use in hospital patients to prevent CDI in the first place. So in summary, NTCD M3 provides an exciting possibility for the future of CDI management. It would enable a better quality of life and improved outcomes for patients, stopping the recurrence cycle early. For payers, less recurrence means fewer hospital readmissions and shorter hospital stay, reducing drug costs due to fewer recurrences and therefore less burden on the hospital systems. So if you're interested to find out more, please do contact me. Here are my contact details. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me today.